Welcome to the Contracting Guy. I am the Contracting Guy, and I'm on location somewhere west of the blue whale and east of the giant pop bottle there on Route 66. As you can see, the round barn. Pretty cool. I have a question, but before I get to the question, I want to give a specific shout out to Leslie Maxim out of Connecticut, and she bought one of my books. So, Leslie, thank you very much. Now, on to the question. This veteran says, "Hey, contracting guy, my name is Donnie, and I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, and I have a question. I want to do business with the federal government, and I talk to them on the phone. What should I do after I complete a phone call?" Well, Donnie, that's a great question, and I'll answer that in just a moment. Well, Donnie from Huntsville, Alabama, let me answer this question. And the question is about what should I do after talking to the contracting people. What you need to do is document, document, and document. Here's what I'm talking about. If you have a discussion, a telephone discussion, you want to document and memorialize, which means write down. In fact, documentation is writing stuff down. So you're going to write stuff down that is relevant to your the solicitation you're proposing to, or the contract you're working on. You want to document things that you do and decisions that are made, or comments that are relied upon. If the contracting officer says X, you want to document that the contracting officer said X on this date at this location. You also, when documenting, especially when you're talking about a discussion between yourself and the contracting officer, is you want to document that, and you want to then send that document to them saying, "I'm memorializing our discussion. This is what you said. Is this correct?" The purpose of documentation is to ensure that a clear and concise understanding of the work is known. Oftentimes, when documentation is lacking, nobody knows what needs to be done. And where documentation fails and a problem occurs, they'll look at the last documents. If you do not have any documents, or if you have not created documents, then you will have to then rely on what the contracting officer has created. Now, that may be totally what you don't even understand or not what you agreed to. So what you want to do is make sure that you constantly document what is being done so that you can better prepare for a completed contract, or, God forbid, a contract that has to be protested, or some other response to it that will cause you to question and maybe even go to court. So, I mean, if you have a claim, you want to document all the things that you do. Now, if I were talking to the contracting officer, I would tell them the same thing. I would say, you need to document this. You talked to them, you said something, you document it. But for you, and this is written really for you, is that you need to document it to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. One of the challenges for small businesses, especially ones that are not mature, particularly with federal contracting, is that they take things for granted. They assume things will be fine, and what they discover is that you can't take anything for granted, and assumptions will get you in trouble. So my suggestion to you is to document it. Put it in writing, memorialize the experience. If you have to then contact the contracting officer, or if you are contacting the contracting officer to verify what was written down, then you put that on letterhead and forward it that way. There's an earlier episode that I did on letterhead. So memorialize discussion that goes on between you and the contracting officer, or your team and the contracting team. But remember this always, is that the contracting officer is the only one that can make a decision regarding the contract and its terms and conditions. Only one. So don't rely on someone else. Contracting officer's representatives? No. A end user, a parent customer, a general officer. None of those matter other than the contracting officer. Well, Donnie from Huntsville, Alabama, I hope this answered your question. Be vigilant. This is the contracting guy. I'm out. Thank you for watching The Contracting Guy. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. We'd appreciate that. This is The Contracting Guy. I'm out.